In this video, we shall take a look at a couple of problems on gravitation. We shall cover concepts such as gravitational attraction force between two masses. Say the two masses are m1 and m2 separated by distance r. So in this case, the attractive force, the magnitude of it is given by the following expression: gm1 m2 over r squared, where g is the universal gravitational constant. It must be remembered that m1 will be attracted to m2 and m2 will be attracted to m1. Another concept that we shall look at here is the concept of gravitational potential energy of a two-particle system such as the one shown here. So in this case, the gravitational potential energy for such a system is given by the following expression. So again, G is the universal gravitational constant times the product of the two masses over the separation constant, R. Note that these two expressions are similar, but they are not identical. For the expression for force, you have R squared in the denominator, and the expression for the potential energy, you only have R instead of R squared. So force is expressed in the units of newtons, and gravitational potential energy is expressed in the units of joules. Let's look at the first problem. In figure below, find the net gravitational force on mass 4 kg, that is the one here, due to the other two masses. Let L be 3 centimeters. So the separation between mass 4 kg and 2 kg is 3 cm, and the separation between the 2 kg and the 4 kg, the 2 kg now being on the horizontal axis, is 6 centimeters. So let's do the contribution from the 2 kg object on the y-axis, y being the vertical axis, x being the horizontal axis. So since gravitational force is attractive in nature, the 4 kg object will be pulled by the 2 kg object vertically up. So we can express that as F up, and the expression is G, the product of the two masses, is 2 times 4. The separation distance is L, which is 3 centimeters, so 0.03, and don't forget the square. The direction of that pull is upward, so you can write with a unit vector j hat. J hat is a unit vector in the direction of positive y-axis. The value for the universal gravitational constant is 6.67 times 10 to the power minus 11 in the units of meter cube over kg second squared. And the expression, the final answer for this, is 5.93 times 10 to the power minus 7 newtons in j hat direction. So that is just the contribution from that mass. Now let's look at the 2 kg resting on the x-axis. That 2 kg would pull the 4 kg to the left, like that. So let's denote that force in that manner. Now they are vectors, so let's use the vector notation. So in this case, it's minus g, the product of two masses, over the separation distance is 2L, so that's 6 centimeters, 0.06 meter squared, I hat. So you see now you have a minus I hat because the direction of that pull from the 2 kg on that 4 kg is to the left. And the numerical value for that force is minus 1.48 times 10 to the power minus 7 newtons minus I hat direction. So the net force, let's calculate the magnitude of the net force first on that 4 kg object. By Pythagoras' theorem, because these two forces are 90 degrees with respect to each other, is given by 5.93 times 10 to the power minus 7 squared plus minus 1.48 times 10 to the power minus 7 squared square root, which will give you 6.11 times 10 to the power minus 7 newtons. So this is the magnitude of the net force on this 4 kg object due to the other two masses. Now let's calculate the direction. That force is going up. This force is going that way. So the direction of the net force must be heading like that. All we have to do is to determine that angle. You can use trigonometry to do it. So this is 5.93 times 10 to the power minus 7. That side is 1.48 times 10 to the power minus 7. So that angle is theta, and this is 90 degrees. You can determine theta. And you see theta is arctangent of this over that. So in other words, 1.48 over 5.93, because 10 to the power minus 7 will get cancelled, which will give you 14 degrees. We can measure the angle in a standard way, since this is 14 degrees and this is 90 degrees. So in a standard notation, the direction of that force, the net force, on 4 kg object is 90 degrees plus 14, which is 104 degrees. And that's the answer. Problem 2. In a double star system, two identical stars of mass 2 times 10 to the power 30 kg each rotate about the system's center of mass at radius 10 to the power 10 meter. So you can draw a schematic diagram like that. So the mass is given, they are identical, 2 times 10 to the power 30 kg. The center of center distance is like that. The center of mass is exactly in the middle, so that is the center of mass. So R is 10 to the power 10 meter. So they are rotating like that with some angular speed omega about that axis. So the axis is going through the center of mass and perpendicular to the plane. We want to determine the common angular speed omega. So let's concentrate on one of the two masses. Let's look at the left-hand side star. The gravitational attraction due to the right-hand star is gmm, so m squared, over the total distance is 2r, so 4r squared, because 2r squared is 4r squared. So each of them are traveling in a circular trajectory with radius r. So that means the centripetal force on each of them is given by mv squared over r. But because v is r times the angular speed, we can express the centripetal force in terms of omega as follows. R squared omega squared over r, so that will go away, giving us that. So one m will cancel the m from the right. Solving for omega, you get g m over 4r cubed square root. So let's substitute the numbers. The 4 will be taken out of the square root sign and it will become 1 over 2 square root. G is 6.67 times 10 to the power minus 11. The mass is 2 times 10 to the power 30, that's given there, over r cubed. R is 10 to the power 10, and don't forget to cube it. Doing the calculation, you will get 5.8 times 10 to the power minus 6 radiant per second. So that is the answer for part A. Now let's look at the second part. Assume a meteoroid passes through the system's center of mass perpendicular to the orbital plane. So the meteoroid is going through that point coming out of the plane, let's say. What minimum speed should it have at that point, namely at that center of mass point, if it to escape to infinity from the two-star system? So what that means is at that point is the initial point and the final point is at infinity for that meteoroid. So here you have to use the conservation of mechanical energy. So the energy at the initial point must be the same as the energy at the final point, which is at infinity. At infinity, we assume that the meteoroid comes to rest, so there is no kinetic energy, and it's so far away from these double star system, and at infinite distance, the gravitational potential energy will also go to zero due to its 1/r dependence. So that means energy at infinity for that meteoroid is zero. So let's write that. The energy at the initial point, namely at the center of mass of that double star system, consists of the kinetic energy of the meteoroid at that point and the gravitational potential energy of the meteoroid at that point. And that should sum up to zero. The kinetic energy is given by half times the mass of the meteoroid times that minimum speed that we want to calculate, VI squared. The gravitational potential energy of the meteoroid at that center of mass has two terms. One is due to the mass or the star on the left. The other one is due to the star on the right. So let's write them down separately. Gravitational potential energy of the meteorite and the left-hand star system is given by little m times the capital M over that separation. And again, another similar term due to the contribution from the right-hand star. So little m capital M over r. So r is the separation distance between the meteoroid and each of the two stars. And of course, all this will go to zero. So the mass of the meteoroid will cancel. And simplifying it a little bit, you get VI squared over 2 equals 2g capital M over r. Bringing this 2 to that side, it will become 4, like that. That means VI, or the minimum speed, is 2 square root g capital M over r. So the minimum speed of the meteoroid at the center of mass point is 2 times square root. G is 6.67 times 10 to the power minus 11. The mass of each star is 2 times 10 to the power 30 kg. And capital R is 10 to the power 10 meter. And you're going to get, which will give you 231 times 10 to the power 3 meter per second, or simply 231 kilometers per second. And that's the answer for part B. And that solves the problem. Thank you for watching.